there. It's going to be an excellent evening or a morning if you're in Europe, an afternoon. Nice jam-packed session full of automation and some amazing, in my opinion, strategies and some tips and tricks. So for everyone, who is even experienced or even beginner, hopefully the session will give you all something to take away with you. So let's get started. What I'll do before I get started is I'll just display the usual disclaimer. And again, I'll do another check with the screen. So yeah, this disclaimer is quite a standard one, guys, just to let you know that, trading is quite risky. Don't lose capital that you don't own. Don't do anything silly with your capital. So here it is. Can you see my screen? Yep. Again, type in Y for yes. Yep, awesome. So just be mindful of that. If you have any concerns about risking capital, then consult a qualified financial advisor, and don't risk more than you can afford to lose. Well, we all know this, right? So let's get started. So I have, like I said, I have a very cool evening planned for you guys. A quick introduction of myself. My name is Cameron. I'm your host this evening, Cameron Madlani, and here's one of my disclaimers as well. So this is a FXPIG. FXPIG is basically our sponsor this evening. So it's an awesome broker. If you guys haven't checked out FXPIG, I would urge you to do so. An excellent, most excellent broker. I trade with them myself. Very tight spreads, great execution, and execution is key. Everyone talks about tight spreads, but execution is the deciding factor sometimes when it comes to making or losing money. Okay, so let's get started. I'll just do another screen share of my slides, and hopefully you guys can confirm or deny if you can see my screen. Just bear with me. I think Zoom in this version has changed the screen share settings because I think everyone was, not everyone, but some people were exposing themselves and all that jazz. So the screen sharing is a little bit convoluted at the moment. So just bear with me. How's that? Can you see the screen now? Y for yes? Okay, awesome. So like I said, my name is Cameron. I'm the founder and CTO of robotmaker.ai. A quick boring background about myself. I used to design systems for the Bank of England, Bank of New York, Royal Bank of Canada, et cetera, and founded a few companies around the world. I've developed personally 1,000 plus, probably more than that now, algos for instos as well as for private clients. So hopefully I'm a bit qualified to talk about these things, algo related or automation related. That was just a funny video, which I'm going to cut out because, I'm sure we don't have time this evening to go through videos on YouTube. So machines, the world's first fully AI automatic algo launched in 2016, right? And this algo was basically just mind-blowing. And since then, things haven't been the same again. This algo in 2016 placed every single trade using AI. And there's another one called sentient tech, which again has been using AI. Now, there's actually a running joke in my industry that if the entire world perished tomorrow, if there was World War III, some of these algos would continue trading 24 hours a day, as long as the stock market was still operational. How cool is that? So that's how self-sufficient they can be. And my main principle in life is that if you can't beat them, then join them. Can you still see my PowerPoint slides, guys? And don't worry, I'll go into practicals and hands-on very shortly. Sorry to keep bothering you, just a quick Y for yes, if you can still see the black PowerPoint slides. Yeah, excellent. Thank you. So if you can't beat them, absolutely join them. And there is a lot to be said about having an edge when it comes to financial trading, as I'm sure all of you are fully aware. So some of the benefits of automation, and I'll just reel through some slides quickly just to give you guys a flavor for automation, and then we'll dive straight into some hands-on with some of the tools which I'm going to give you tonight free of charge. There is no upselling, there is no cross-selling, as I promised in my invitations. There's no money to be spent whatsoever. Yeah, so how cool is that? All right, so benefits of automation. By the way, if any of you are new to automation, they're also known as trading robots or expert advisors, or EAs, okay, for short. So EA is a term that's used by a software package called MT4, which a lot of you might be familiar with, and MT4 and MT5 call it EAs. So what's the benefits? Well, you can trade while you sleep, which I'll touch on this in a sec. It's very, very important. I know it's the obvious one, hey, hands-off trading, but I'll actually tell you and show you how trading while you're sleeping is actually profitable for you than trading while you're awake. I'll give you examples of why that's the case. Obviously, no emotions with an algo or a robot. Everything is fully mechanical. Human beings, we have two emotions, fear and greed. Robots, algos obviously don't have that. The most important thing of all, in my opinion, is the ability to backtest with algos. Why is that super important? Well, you can backtest manually as well, but that'll take you days, weeks, even months, right? If you backtest with a lot of data going back 5 years, 10 years. With a robot, and I'll show you in a sec, you press a button and within about 2 minutes, 5 minutes, in a few minutes at the most, you have the results of the last 5 years of the trading. And that allows you then to make a decision that, okay, I'm going to drop this strategy or I'm going to keep this strategy, right? You stop wasting your time trading something that's a bit of a dead end. Discipline is a big one, right? 100% discipline with algorithms. There is no ums and ahs and, bit of cheeky trade here and there. Obviously, consistency and algo will be quite, like I said, mechanical. So you'll be, by the way, guys, do you know about the principle of campaigns in trading? Have you heard about campaigns? Y for yes, N for no. It's a technique I'll tell you about right now. It's called campaigns. Okay, thank you for. So campaign, the analogy is, say a Coke, the company Coke or Pepsi, right? Or any of these big companies, Shell. When Coke, Pepsi, or a big company launches a new product, right? They will have a campaign on TV, right? To a commercial to basically show off their new product. They'll do a campaign, and I keep using the word campaign quite a bit deliberately. They'll never just do one ad and then say, oh my gosh, that was just a complete and utter disaster. Let's just can, pardon the pun, let's just can the new Coke flavor, right? Just from one ad. They do a full spectrum of ads, a series of ads, i.e. a campaign. And with trading, the same is true. You have to do a campaign or a series, bunch of trades. I would say as many as 100 trades before you decide whether something is profitable, right, or not. And you can imagine 100 trades manually. Heck, if you do 5 trades and you lose, most people I know, including myself, will back away and say, you know what, this is a loser's game. Let's just go and watch a bit of TV instead, right? That's why machines tend to be successful, because they can do 100 trades without getting, beat down. Yeah. It's very important. Write down campaign of trades. Never do less than 100 trades and give up. Order speed and execution, right? When you're trading manually, imagine, if you're a dork like me, with your mouse, it'll take you about 6 hours to place a trade, right? Whereas if you have a computer, right, spots a trading opportunity, it will just jump on it in a couple of milliseconds, right? And boom, you're in, right? And that's how you get an edge from the rest of the world who's just there with their yellow pages, trading like a grandma. And apologies to any grandmas on the call. Obviously, it's not an offensive phrase at all. Some grandmas are quite quick, especially in my Pilates class. I've seen them, they're stronger than me. Anyway, moving on. Diversifying trading, multiple accounts, multiple strategies concurrently, right? If you're trading manually, forget about it, right? You do a couple of trades or a couple of strategies, and you start losing the plot. Where was I? Where am I? Which trade is which? Whereas a computer, a robot, can keep track of all of these things for you. Yeah, great or what? Anyway, let's crack on. Okay, it's not all roses and flowers and good stuff. There are obviously downsides to anything in life. You can't have too much water. You can't drink too much water either. Otherwise you'll die. Or when good robots go bad, right? What's the downsides? Well, we can have mechanical failures. You're sleeping, your robot's crashed, your machine's crashed, and boom, you lose a bit of capital. Again, there are mitigating circumstances. We can take steps to actually reduce this substantially, if not eliminate it, right? And I'll show you a few things that I do in my personal trading, which makes it pretty foolproof. You got to monitor robots. You can't just, it's not like teach me how to fly a plane. You go to a flight school. Hey, teach me how to fly a plane, and just show me where's the autopilot. And then the autopilots show to you, say, thanks very much, sir. I've got enough. That's it. I'll just jump into a Boeing 737 and switch on the autopilot. It doesn't work that way, does it? Same with the automation. I would strongly advise you guys to learn a bit about trading, whether it's coming to my seminars or ask questions to FXPIG, ask me questions, learn about trading. Don't just switch on the autopilot switch. There's also the concept of curve fitting. Now, this is a very cool one. I know it sounds pretty boring. The words over optimization. I can feel myself going to sleep and snoring, but I'll tell you why this is pretty exciting. When you have a robot, you can actually ask it, and I'll show you this hopefully if I have time tonight, if not in a future session. You can click a little button, a little switch. It'll go away and it will find you the most profitable settings in the world, right? And it'll come back in 5-10 minutes or half an hour and say, look, trade this setting, and then you'll make money. How good is that, right? Beautiful. But there's a danger. You can basically end up finding the most amazing settings for last year's trading, and obviously last year's trading almost certainly will never repeat next year, because the markets are truly random, in my opinion. Okay. Yes, exactly. Any questions, guys? Put them in the control panel. So Ben was saying, yeah, it's all based on your backtest data. Thank you, Ben. Any questions, guys? Feel free to type in the panel. Let's make this interactive. The more interactive it is, the more you're going to learn, and the more I'll be awake. Otherwise, I'll fall asleep while talking as well. By the way, something to let you guys know, tonight's participants in this call will be going into a draw for a free $200 trading account from FXPIG. I'm not part of FXPIG. I'm one of their affiliates, but I'm not actually from FXPIG myself. But they've offered, as they're sponsoring the call, they offered a free $200 account, a draw for a $200 account. So make sure you enroll. I'll send you a link later. And obviously, what can happen is you can end up amplifying losses. Now, what does that mean, right? If you're trading a bad strategy manually, you'll obviously, say you're losing and you trade that bad strategy 3, 4, 5 times, you've just lost 5 times that capital. You put the same bad strategy on the robot, and without any mitigating factors, which I'll show you how to put on there, you trade that system 100 times. Obviously, you're going to amplify your bad money management / strategies. Yeah. So a few things to bear in mind. It's not all, like I say, roses and flowers. All right. So I'll just quickly cover some steps to automation, and apologies if this is too basic for you guys or some of you guys, but I think it's important. Yes, can we have someone's asking, can we have access to this recording later? Orlando, I shall try my best to make it available to you later. I can't always promise it. And the reason for that is because people in the past have taken things I said out of context, right? Taken a little snippy, a snapshot of what I said in, like 20 minutes into my presentation and said, Cam said do this. And obviously it's not in context, and then I get into trouble. So let me have a chat with my sponsors, and I'll let you know. But we'll try our best. So baby steps. You can hire a professional automation firm. So this is my company. So robotmaker.ai is just one of my companies. I have another few firms: Automated Trading Australia, Automated Trading UK, and I'll give you my details at the end of this call, and I'll design robots for you, right? No problem, and I'll charge you obviously a fee for that, right? I'll develop a robot. But why isn't this a good idea, right? I've had clients who've come to me over the years, and they've paid money to develop 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 robots, even more, right? But then eventually, not that I'm a bad algo developer, I hope not, but eventually, a lot of them give up, right? And the reason for this is because it's not just 5 or 10 attempts that you need at cracking this trading game. I cracked it 10 years into it, and I'm now 24 years into it and making money quite nicely. This is my side startup, right? So it takes a while to make money. So that's why this presentation is important. Towards the end, I'm going to show you how you can bash out hundreds of algos, i.e. robots or bots, within minutes, right? Okay, this A doesn't work. I've tried it 100 times. Okay, let me try robot B, robot C, right, etc. So that's why, by all means, hire a professional firm, but also think about coding yourself. And if you can't be bothered, don't have the skills, and trust me, the vast, no, I think majority is the wrong word to use, but a lot of people, it's quite frustrating coding. I find, I tried to teach my wife, and she just didn't, she's quite an intelligent woman, but she doesn't have the patience for it, right? Debugging a piece of code for 6 hours, 6 days sometimes. And these are the languages, if you want to do it yourself: MQL, JForex, NinjaScript, EFS. Or option number 3, listen on. So, how trading robots make day trading profitable? Who wants to know about this? Who in the audience is a day trader? Put down DT if you're a day trader. Do you even know what that means? I'm sure you do. Yep. So, yep. Adam, Gary, thank you. You guys are day traders. And Orlando, thank you. You guys know, right? That DeAndre, great name. DeAndre, thank you. Now, you guys know, right? Day trading is not an easy malarkey, right? It's not an easy malarkey, is it? It's not an easy thing at all. Day trading is really frustrating. I've done this before for a long time. You pull your hair out, and oh my God, is it stressful, right? For obvious reasons. You're looking at a chart sometimes for 8, 9, 10 hours a day. Yes, sir. Orlando, you agree, right? My man. So anyway, how do we use bots to make day trading profitable? Day trading requires persistence. Like I say, you're going to be sticking at it. It requires discipline, right? Using semi-automation, a little bit in and out. You just do a bit of, you don't have to automate fully if you're nervous about automating. And I'll show you using the free tool sets, but I'll show you shortly. You can automate partially, right? And I'll show you what I mean by partial automation. It's not a bit like being a little bit pregnant. That doesn't, obviously with those situations, you can't do a little bit half-assed, part of my language, but with automation you can. You can do just entries and then do exits manually. You can do back testing yourself and do the actual, back testing with a robot and trading manually, right? And then you can also use automation to manage multiple markets using the concept known as a radar. And I'll show you what a radar looks like. Hopefully it'll blow your mind. Who's heard about radars, guys? I don't mean the radar used by the police to catch you when you're doing a 100 kilometers in a 50 kilometer zone. but who's heard about trading radars? Why for yes and for no? Or yes, or screeners, Ben, yeah, good point. You can use the word screener, yeah. Totally, yeah. So here's some examples of some semi-automation, right? So I'm using some old examples because I haven't had this piece of software is called eSignal, and I haven't used it for a while because I went into full-blown automation a few years ago. Actually a long time ago, but at that point I was still using 2016. So this software, what it does is this is a 3 moving average crossover, right? The majority of people will look at a moving average crossover and just write it off, right? For those of you who don't know what a moving average crossover is, don't worry, I'll cover this very quickly a bit later on. But it's basically 3 lines on the screen. When they point in the same direction, we buy, or we sell when they point down in the same direction, right? Now, I say to people that don't write off a simple strategy just because it's simple, right? No, that's like writing off Forrest Gump, one of my favorite guys in the world. You don't write him off. So why is this profitable? Because I took time to choose and find out through back testing the currency, right? I went through hundreds of instruments, and I found, after a few days, I said, you know what? I found GBP JPY, which I called the beast from the East, right? Pound yen. It's an awesome currency pair, guys. Write it down. If you guys don't trade this GBP JPY, it's got heaps of action, right? It moves like a beast. This is a 240 chart, 4-hourly chart, and I think I did the back test over a span of a year or maybe 6 months. I forget now. It's a while ago, and it made 1736, and net profit of 843, right? Points. Now this is just one currency, right? Imagine you trade 28 currency pairs, multiply those points by 28 pairs, right? Obviously it won't be the same strategy, but different strategy, or the same strategy with different settings, right? And at the bottom there is a profit to loss ratio. It's called a profit factor, right? A profit factor of 1.94, right? What does that mean? It means that for every dollar that you lost, you got $1.94 back, right? From the market, or $2 back from the market. It's a bit like going to a bank and giving the bank $10, and the bank gives you $20 note in return. Who's going to do it? Who says yes to this? Wouldn't you be doing this all day long? Yeah, here's my $10. Give me $20, please, right? It's a no-brainer, right? So this is what it means to use a strategy which is a profit factor of 1.92 and above. It's a no-brainer. Right, another one. This one is dollar CAD. Yeah, it is a year. I was right earlier. 1267, and this is like the bank giving you almost $3 for every dollar that you pay them. Right, again, a no-brainer. Anyway, I won't go through all these examples. It's pretty much the same thing, but just to give you a bit of proof that these things work, right? A lot of people write off trading and automation because they're like, look, it never works. I've lost thousands of dollars over the years. It's just it's just a scam. It's nonsense. So I'm giving you some real world examples. This is back in 2014, actually. There you go. FTA was one of my previous companies, Financial Trading Academy. So anyway, I'll just, this one, 3,691 points, almost 3,500 points, 3.28. Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. I'll just quickly, this is a different strategy. So this one's a good one. Let me dwell on it for about a couple of minutes. Again, people tend to write off Bollinger Bands, right? Who's heard about Bollinger Bands? Type in BB if you have. Double B's. Thank you. Sorry, that was a bad joke. I apologize, guys. Obviously, I don't get out much. So Bollinger Bands. Thank you. Yep, exactly. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Orlando. Thank you, Patrick, Fred, Melody. Thank you for confirming. Yep, they're your favorite, Ben, until the market breakout. Absolutely. Tell you what, they actually can be used to even trade market breakouts, right? So hopefully when we do subsequent sessions, I'll go through various uses for Bollinger Bands. But just for the beginners in the group, one of my favorite indicators. And why is it a very, very cool indicator? Well, it basically gives you the market extremes, right? Imagine a tool that told you that the house prices in your area are at the top. Now they're going to collapse, right? Or a tool that told you that the house prices are, at the bottom and you can buy them. Anna's saying she can't hear me. Everyone can hear me? Yep. Excellent. Sorry, Anna, I think it's just you. It might be a broadband. Right. So these bands will give you extremes, right? Price extremes. The example I give people is, think about, say you're going to a conference on a street for, say, a short person's conference, right? In your local downtown, right? Pretty random example, I know, right? And obviously, you'll meet someone who is basically quite short, and you're like, okay, this is a given because they were near a short person's conference. But if you're walking on a random street and you meet the same person, right, who is quite short, then what are the chances that you're going to meet someone a few streets down who's also short, right? Not very much. Chances are that the majority of people tend to be, or price action, or majority of things tend to be in the middle, right? The average. Most people are 5'5" or 5'9", etc. So if you meet someone who is fairly short, chances are you're going to meet an average person, pretty soon. And on vice versa, you're walking on the street of your local downtown, you meet a very tall person, 7 foot tall, 8 foot tall. Don't ask me who's 8 foot tall. The chances of meeting someone next person to be that tall, very, very slim, right? You're going to meet someone of an average height. And that's the principle, that the market in the middle of the Bollinger Band is 97.6% or something thereabouts of the price action, right? And then as soon as it reaches the top, price will go towards the mean or the average, right? And that's why this tool in this case made 583 points, but I can show you deviations, or part of the pun, because Bollinger Bands use the concept of deviations, top deviation, bottom deviation. But you can actually use little tweaks to make this extremely profitable, even in today's times. Some more examples. This one made profit factor 3.75. So I was basically giving the bank $1 and getting back $3.75 for every dollar, right? So yeah, back in 2014, 2015, and even the last few years, made quite a substantial heap of cash trading, relatively simple strategies, right? But this is an example of semi-automation, where you can use a strategy to tell you with the automation when to buy, when to sell, but you as the trader pull the trigger, right? Not the strategy. But we'll go through both scenarios. Anyway, next point. By the way, any questions so far? Everyone enjoying this? Or am I very basic right now? Is this too basic for people? Should we amp it up? Are you loving it, Orlando? Thank you. Awesome, Anna. Thank you, Ben. Ben's itching for a bit of advanced stuff. Thank you. Thanks, Melody. Thanks, Jürgen. Thanks, Anna. Thanks, Gary. Right. So transferring your knowledge to trading robots, right? First of all, you define your trading type. Are you a day trader? Are you an end of day trader? Are you a swing trader, right? Day trader trades during the day, as the name implies. He or she is in and out during the day. End of day, as the name implies, will trade once a day at the end of the day, typically, depending on your time zone. If you're in the US, you might be trading in the morning your time, which is European nighttime. Or you could be a swing trader where you hold a position open for a number of swings, which normally occur throughout a number of days, hours, days, yeah, and so on and so forth. So as a result, you basically have to make sure that you know which one are you before you start trading automation, because robots don't like gray areas. They're very black and white, right? XML feeds, these are pretty interesting. XML feeds, who here trades fundamentals, which is things like the economic news, the interest rates, things like that, you know, the macroeconomics. Who likes trading that kind of stuff? Type it in. If you like macro, type in macro. No, I think the majority of people on this call will be technical traders, i.e. people who like trading what they see on the chart. Yeah, on the chart. So let me just why is this important? Because if you're someone who likes trading the fundamentals, i.e. the market, interest rates, and things like that, we can also automate those using XML feeds. But anyway, this is a bit of a boring topic, so I want you can download tick data, right? And you can say, okay, I want to go back 5 years, 10 years, and see how much money I would have won or lost, right? Anyway, things like this. I won't go into much detail. This is quite a dry topic. We'll quickly skip through this and jump into some hands-on very soon, right? So yeah, this is quite an important point. If you don't know when your strategy's trading times are the most profitable, then chances are you are not profitable, right? People on this webinar who know their strategy's profitable days and hours and expected drawdown are the ones I would say are profitable. The rest of you, my guess is, are not profitable, right? And don't take it the wrong way. It is what it is. I was the same as you guys. All right, and you can use semi-automation, like I said to you before, to move your trade to break even. What is break even? That's the entry point of your trade, right? So I would say to people, it's very, very important, if you can, to go to break even as soon as possible, because thereafter, yeah, break even plus the spread. Thank you, Ben. Or if you're trading with a broker like FXPIG, which is ECN, STP, the spreads will be pretty tiny and small. Why is that important? Because obviously after this, you're playing with the market's money, right? It's a free trade. Things can go south and you still don't lose any money. Scaling out, you can actually take some profit off the table. This is not my recommended thing to do, guys and girls. I'll use the term guys for everybody, okay? Guys and girls. I actually hate scaling out, because in my opinion, scaling out means you make less money. And hopefully if we have time, we can chat about this a bit more. Ask me this question, why? I'm more of a fan of scaling in automatically. Why scaling in is good? Because you start with a small trade, and if that's profitable, you build on it and you build on it, right? Until you develop that trade beautifully, right? That's more profitable in my 24 years of trading experience. And you can also use automation to hedge. Hedging means you do an opposite trade. So if you are long, which is you bought something, if things are going against you, you can temporarily hedge that by selling, go to bed, so things equalize until you wake up, and then you can start thinking with a fresh mind, and then finish that trade off nicely, right? And you can also use automation to send you phone messages. And the latest thing, which I'll show you that the tool set does, it sends you a push notification to your iPhone and your Android. How cool is that? All you have to do is install the MT4 app on your phone, right? MT4 app from the iStore or the Android Google Store on your phone, and you'll get notifications for whatever situation you want to do. And I'll show you how to do this as well. Thank you, Melody. Thank you, Gabor, for that compliment. And you can open a hedging position in a different market. Now, this is a very, very interesting technique, which hopefully we'll touch upon in the future webinar, where say you're losing money in market A, you can use a robot to open a hedging position in a different market, and then it'll send you an alert, right? Again, very, very, very good. Anyway, some hints and tips before we go into the practical stuff, some hands-on stuff. Beware of the $99 trading robots. Who on this call webinar has purchased one of these shit boxes that I like to call them? Pardon my language. Who's bought one? Come on, be honest, guys. I don't blame you. I've done that in the past. The $99 robots from those really cheesy landing pages that go on for a guilty as charged, right? Orlando, yep, me too. I've done it in the past before I go into algo trading in a big way and did my own algos. We've all done it, right? The reason why they're $99 and off the shelf is because they don't work in the long term. And secondly, they're black boxes. Why are they called black boxes? Because you don't know what's underneath inside them, right? They could be siphoning money from your account. Well, they can't really do that, but they could be, have a big bug that's got a stop loss. They could siphon data from your account for sure. Like your name, how much money you're making. If you've got a big account like a $400,000, $500,000 account, imagine that information leaking to the internet. Don't run a robot on a home computer, right? Never ever do this. Yeah, why? The reason is because if your computer crashes, right, what happens to your robot? Right, you're finished. Well, not finished, but it can be quite a bad situation. So someone pulls a power cable, internet goes down, or you're lucky enough to have a cleaner in your house, and there you go. They run over a cable with a vacuum cleaner. Instead, invest in a good quality VPS, a virtual private server, which is basically a laptop or a computer in the cloud, and always use an Equinix data center, right? An Equinix data center, which is what the big FX brokers like FXPIG tend to use. So you'll be sitting right next to a broker service. And obviously, we talked about the fitting your settings when optimizing. Okay, obtaining access to this tool set, which I'm about to demo to you guys. It's currently free on the website I'm about to demo to you, but it won't be free for a long time, right? There is paid plans. I've got a temporary free plan on my website. It's going to be going to paid mode unless and until you have a funded account with FXPIG. This is the only small ask I have. Look, I'm not asking you to shut down your current brokers. If you have access to other brokers, no one's asking you to leave them. Just have an extra account. No one's going to stop you having multiple broker accounts. Fund it. It doesn't matter what amount you fund it, and drop me an email to say you've done it, and we'll keep your account active on robotmaker.ai. Okay, now who wants to do a bit of see exactly how I do all this stuff without any coding? I want to see a bit of some feedback in the chat panel. Yes, please. Awesome. Let's do it. Okay. All right. I'm just going to switch my screens now, so just bear with me. It'll go blank. I'm going to ask you guys a question. In the group here, who's actually traded with automation? Type in A for automation. Who's traded with automation? Just so I know the level of information. Oh, Luke, SQX, okay. Patrick, yes. Gary, Samir, thank you. Okay, so a lot of people have traded with automation, and as you guys know, with automation, the key thing is when you try something, it doesn't work, you want to try and do something else, try something else straight away, or but then you got to pay money to someone to develop it or code it yourself, which can be a real pain in the backside. Yeah. So the tool set which I've developed, so as a trader over the years, I realized, you know what, I need to develop something which allows other traders to create robots without coding, because coding is obviously a bit of a pain in the in the backside, and it's also prone to bugs, not to mention time consuming and quite a stressful process. So what I've done is I've created a tool set called robotmaker.ai, which I think is absolutely amazing. I love it. And the beauty about this tool set is that you can also share amongst each other's robots, right? So for example, if Luke or Yusuke or Has or Samir or Gary wants to develop a robot and share it, or even lease it out, rent it out for a bit of extra cash, for $10 a month or whatever you want to choose, you can do that if you want, right? And other people can subscribe to it either free of charge or not, right? Now, I think that's pretty cool myself. I think it's a very good feature. So it's something which is allowed on the platform. And the other good thing is I'm in the process of creating a bunch of free robots to share with you guys as well. I've put a couple there already right now, but I'm creating another few tomorrow as part of these calls homework for me. So, and I'll give you some homework too. I'm joking. So you can basically just literally don't have to create even the drag and drop tool set by yourself. You can just do it, just copy mine. Can you guys see my screen with the workspace? Yes, no? You can. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to take you to the process of, first of all, signing up, right, on the website. So what you should do if you want access to this, and like I said, I'll keep your access open and probably keep it active indefinitely. Forget 12 months, I'll do it indefinitely as long as you maintain an FXPIG live trading account funded, right? And obviously, hopefully, place a trade here and there at least to help the sponsors. So to get access, go to robotmaker.ai. Don't do it now unless you have multiple screens, and simply click on sign up, top right. You'll get this screen here. Click on sign up again and just type in, I've got a bunch of accounts as you can see here. So I'll do James Brown. Is James Brown that singer? I forget now. James, or was there something else Brown? James.Brown at Robot Maker. James Blunt, yeah, James Blunt is a singer, but I think the old 80s, yeah, the soul singer. Thank you. I feel good. Thank you, Fred. I thought that name rang a bell. Why is that in my brain? James Brown. Yeah, I feel good, Fred. Thank you. That's the song. So James.Brown at my email address there, my website. So obviously you choose yours. Don't steal mine. It won't work anyway if you just steal my email address. And you've got three options. Like I said, I'll keep the free one active for a while. Just sign up on the free subscription. And boom, you're in. Okay, can you still see my screen? Yep, all good, excellent. So this is known as a workspace, right? And I'll show you how easy it is to create a robot, right? It normally takes me about 30 seconds, but because I'm talking you through it, it'll take me a couple of minutes. On the left, we have all the various blocks. I call them my Lego blocks, right? Building blocks. In the middle, we have the workspace. We just drag and drop a block. Okay, so the first block we always need is the configuration block, right? If the screen is a bit small for you guys, then there is a plus sign bottom right and just go plus, plus, plus. And if you have bad eyesight, I'm in my 40s now and getting bad eyesight. Geez, I used to have perfect 20/20 eyesight. Anyway, so configuration is important. Then, if you click on it, it'll give you some options, right? These are just your default. Yeah, all the years, Ben, looking at charts. Or watching too much Netflix, one of those two. You get some default options, right? Take profit 90 pips or 90 points, stop loss 30 pips, 30 points, and your lot sizes. Don't worry about these things. These are just temporary values or just initial values. So don't worry about them. You don't have to adjust them perfectly right now. You can if you want to. Configuration is done, right? Then we build the actual strategy. This is our main thing that you're going to use quite a bit. And by the way, we're adding to these blocks all the time. We've got as the name implies, .ai. We'll be adding a .ai module, which is currently been in machine learning mode, which is learning about the foreign exchange markets right now over the last few months. And I'm anticipating in the next month or two, the machine learning will complete, and then that module will know how to predict the market. So you can add that to give you an edge. How cool is that? If you have an AI, Mr. AI sitting here, and you drag and drop it onto the chart and say, look, if XYZ is fine and the AI engine says it's good to go, then I'll buy it. Yeah, you guys don't seem excited about this. I think I want to release it. I want to see a bit of excitement in the chat window saying, woohoo, this is good stuff. Yeah, woohoo, thank you, Anna. Yeah. So we have, Gary is asking a great question. Can we use Renko? Yeah, thank you, Orlando. Thank you, Melody. Thank you, Chris, Anna, Ben. Gary's question, great question. Can we use Renko charts? Renko is a bit of an advanced concept, but yes, Gary, you can use any charts. You can use Renko charts. You can use point and figure charts. You're not limited. This is just a robot. You can run on anything. You can even buy running on orange juice charts. And I'm not joking. You can actually buy and sell orange juice and coffee beans. So this indicator, moving average, is just one, but inside there is a ton more. And then there is a really cool one called custom mode, which then opens up this tool to thousands, right? Yes, Orlando, great question. Orlando's asking, does it work with crypto as well? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And the cool thing is, one second, let me just check something and I'll let you know in a sec. If you have FXPIG, right? FXPIG has got not just one, not just two, but I think a whole ton of cryptos there, right? And I think Chris is on the call. Chris is from FXPIG. He's just, he'll confirm this to everyone, right? So yeah, you can upload a custom indicator. Yes, you can. Gary, you don't have to upload a custom indicator. You reference a custom indicator, right? Okay, so yeah. Anyway, let's move on quickly. So moving average, this is the first moving average, and we'll say, okay, I want to make it a 50 period moving average, right? Yep, Chris has just confirmed that FXPIG have 60 unique CFD pairs and crypto, yeah, and loads of crypto pairs. So moving average, again, these options are not meant to be, final right now. These are just some initial settings for you to trade with. You can modify them later. So these are the usual things that you'll find when you create a moving average on your chart, but there's some extra things here. User adjustable parameter. What does that mean? Is this when you load the robot onto FXPIG, right? Which is their MT4 platform, you should be allowed to adjust these settings. So I'll say, okay, I want to be able to be allowed to adjust the moving average period, right? Which is the line. I won't go into, what is moving average, but essentially it's an average. It's a line that gives you the average price of an instrument. Again, that'll be outside the scope of this call in an hour to take you through a complete basic trading course. But if anyone's not sure, let me know and we can. Yeah, it's a variable. Thank you, Ben. Then we have. I don't want to use the shift as a setting. Candle ID is, do you want to use the current candles moving average? or the previous candle, which will be 2, the candle before that 3. But anyway, I'll leave it as a default 1, and I don't want to adjust it. I do want to be able to adjust whether, on my platform, if I'm trading exponential, smooth, simple moving average, etc. Yeah, so I'll tick that. And finally, yes, I want to adjust closing price, etc., open, high, low, close. Yep. And then we simply click on update, and that's now reflected in there. And the next condition that we have is say, okay, moving average 1 is greater than moving average 2, right? So then I'll drag a second moving average in a sec. But Ben has asked a question. What is a shift? A shift is, so this thing here in shift. So shift basically allows you to transpose and move a moving average from 1 bar to a 1 bar down to the left, right? Again, it's an advanced concept. I apologize, I can't go too far deeper than that. That's a quick answer. We can just shift it to the left. Okay, and then we have various options here. Is it greater than, less than, equal to, and then equals means literally is equal to. That's just the MT4 syntax. And this one means not equal to. This one means and, just and, ampersand. And this means or. Okay, and again, I'll cover this in another video. I'm recording some how-to videos at the moment, so I'll cover these things. But I think you won't be using anything apart from less than, greater than, not equal to, and or. Yeah. Okay. So moving average 1 is greater than moving average 2. And again, on this one, I'll just quickly do it very quickly because we went through what happened in the first block there. And these are called blocks, obviously. I think I mentioned to you before. And these things, we make them user adjustable when we copy the robot onto the FXPIG MT4 platform. Done. So moving average 1 greater than moving average 2 equals buy. Done, right? Now that's me talking a lot of stuff, and it still took me 2 minutes, right, or 5 minutes maybe, to create that robot, right? And now the reverse side of this, which is selling. Thank you, Orlando. Yep, it is very simple. The reverse side, flip side, is even more simpler than this. I right-click on this, click on duplicate, and boom, we have an exact replica of everything. And if I click on this, don't need to modify any of these attributes. They're already pre-populated, right? All I have to do is just modify that to say less than, because this is less than that. And this time so I just right click and I just did a delete. And this time I'll go buy sell, and we just say we sell. Okay, that's it. Yep, nice and easy. Okay, now I promised you guys I was going to show you how to send messages to your cell phone or your mobile phone if you're from Europe. So instead of doing a buy and a sell, what you can do perhaps is go into notifications and say, you know what, when this is greater than this, drop me an alert, right? But what kind of alert? Sorry, an alert is basically just a pop-up box on your desktop saying, hey, buy now, right? So you can do that. So I click on that and say, okay, buy now, right? That's my alert. But maybe you don't want a pop-up message. You want to send yourself an email. You can do that as well. Send email, and again, buy now, right? Or here's the push notification, right? And then say buy now. And now what you have to do, guys, is simply install the MT4 app on your phone from the App Store, and this will send notifications to your phone when there is a buy signal. And obviously you do a corresponding one by duplicating, and there, if there's a sell signal, right? Buy now, pay later. Thank you, Ben. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, it is buy now, pay later. So anyway, so there's one more step involved in MT4 to get the notifications, and I'll show it to you when we're in MT4 in a second. But there's one more small step required. But right now we don't need notifications, so we'll just delete this block. So I'll slot the buy and sell back in there, right? Okay. Then what else do we have? We have, high, low, open, close. If you want to do something with that, which I don't at the moment, but you can say that I want to buy a high or a close to be above a moving average. You can say things like, I want automatic money management, right? What does that do, right? Orlando has a question. I'll just do a little segue. Can you use support and resistance zones for alerts and buys? That's a great question. At the moment, no, but drop me an email. I'm collecting a lot of suggestions for the features. I've got a whole 100 features in my project management inbox. So if you ask me for SNR zones and everyone else does, then it's going to go high in the priority, right? So money management, what does that do? Again, default, I can say default true false, say it's false, and trade risk percentage, right? Again, this is a default value. You can change it later, right? So the beauty about this is it allows you to do money management with your robot, right? Automatically. So you only risk 1% guaranteed every single time, right? And not basically be gambling with your hard-earned money and your trading capital, right? And how many of us here, including me, you know, we've been tempted, you know, to trade, you know, 5, 6, 7, you know, 20%, 25% sometimes, right? Gambling almost, pretty bad. If you're trading 25% of your account at a pop, how many goes do you have before your account blows up, right? Not many, obviously, a handful. Whereas if you're trading with 1% capital and you're the world's unluckiest trader and you lose every single trade, do you know how many attempts you'll get at your trading account? If you risk 1%, Ben, if you risk 1% trading capital, only 1%, and you're the world's unluckiest trader, right? No, most people say 99, but that's not true, right? Not even 100, Orlando. Don't forget, this 1% is dynamic, right? So you start with a $10,000 account, you risk 1% equals $100. Then you lose, so your account now is 9,900, right? Now you'll be doing 1% off 9,900. Right? Gabor is saying infinity. It's actually, the true answer is, I forget the actual number, it's about 342 attempts before you go to zero, or before you go to $5 or something like that. From 10,000, it'll take you 342 attempts or thereabouts at 1% a pop, right? It's a lot of trades before you blow your $10,000 account, right? Yep, it sounds like a radioactive waste, says Ben. I like that joke. Yeah, it is like, so yeah, very important, radioactive decay. Yeah, I know what you meant. So yeah, 1%, very important. And there's even a very naughty feature, which I've chucked in, and it's called intelligent martingale, right? And I call it intelligent, but it's actually basically a controlled martingale sequence. Those of you who don't know, martingaling is a way of forcing a system to make you money at gunpoint by basically doubling every time you lose, right? You go into Las Vegas, into a casino, and then you lose, you double until you lose your car and your shirt off your back and your house, right? A system that blows your account eventually. If you, yes, Orlando, it is gambling in its raw form, but I've tried to tame this beast, and that's why it's intelligent. But if you tame it, right, you put a limit on it, and you say, okay, I'll double. Yes, Ben, life is gambling indeed. I'll double, but I'll stop until I hit my limit of 3 lots. I shall not go above 3 lots, right? And that's how we differentiate ourselves from the Las Vegas gamblers. We are traders. We have limits. We have, you know, parameters, right? That's not, Orlando, thank you for the compliment, but that's not the smartest thing. The smartest thing is up here. It's the actual multiplier of martingale, right? You don't always have to double, right? The default mode that you get out on the internet is double. That's how you blow up your account. This one allows you to go to 1.5, 1.2, 1.4, you know, 0.75. So what does that mean? It means that if your lot size was 1 lot in trade number 1, the next trade will be 1.5 because 1 times 1.5. Next trade will be 1.5 times 1.5 rather than doing 1, 2, 4, 8, 16 lots, which is disastrous, right? So anyway, this one allows you to be a bit more creative with your, I'll set default mode to false, but I'll show you the power of this in a second. Okay, update. That's it. This is me waffling and talking for the last 20 minutes. But if I did that, without talking, boom, 2 minutes or 30 seconds done. We save it, and I'll call it simple MA crossover with, I don't know how long I can go with my names, but simple MA crossover with money management, right? I'll see if I can use such a big name. I can. Okay, and what I'll do, guys, as a little bonus thank you, I'll go ahead and export this robot from this profile from James Brown, so the rest of you can use it in your trading. Okay, so I'll just go into rent your robots and make money. There's my robot. I won't bother updating the image, but I'll just edit it. This robot uses simple MA crossover with martingale, with intelligent martingale, right? And money management. Okay, and it's free, right? I can choose to monetize it. So those of you who want to monetize it, feel free to, if you have a system that you develop on the website, $10 a month, you can go up to $900 a month, basically. There'll be a fee of 10%, from us as a hosting fee and a marketing fee, but otherwise keep it free, and that's what I'll normally do. And my email address, info@robotmaker.ai, and it's enabled for rent, but even though it's free, and I'll save that. So hopefully the rest of you, when you sign up, you'll be able to see this strategy, which I've developed here. You go into the robot store, and it'll appear here for you to subscribe to. I can't see my own robots that I'm obviously offering, but these are the ones which I created with my other account, and it's there. So if I go ahead and subscribe to the triple MA crossover, I subscribe to it. It's free, so it doesn't matter. It'll just copy it to my, there it is, to my workspace. Oops, I think I had a empty workspace, so I'll just say my triple MA robot. Sorry, I think I had an empty workspace which I hadn't saved. That's why it was asking me to do it. Here's the one which I just subscribed to, right? Triple MA crossover, and it's just come through. Okay, nice and easy. A question from Gary. Can we develop a pairs trading strategy? I think that's an advanced, I think I know for a fact it's an advanced trading. If I think I know what you mean, could you clarify a bit more what you mean? And then I'll try and answer your question in a sec. Okay, now the next, Orlando's itching now. How do we get this onto your trading platform? So I'll go to your simple MA crossover. Yep. And then the top right is where we download the robot for uploading to or saving to our local platform. In my case, FXPIG's MT4. So I click on that. Hopefully, if everything is good, there it is. With this is some I just did earlier. I'll save it in my FXPIG install. And by the way, before I change my screens, I think with Zoom, things are a little bit pretty bad now. You can't just simply just share your one monitor. You have to choose which windows. I'm going to lose this Windows connection in a bit, and I'll show you my MT4 and this robot working and trading live or trading in backtesting mode. But I'll show you some of the features. There's a custom code which you can drag and drop in here if you wanted to, and that allows you to add your own code, right? So if you're a coder and just want to just add a few things, you can do so. Pretty good. And there's some of the features like, a weekly filter. So you can say only trade this strategy on, say, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Yep. not the reason it's Sunday to Saturday, guys, 7 days a week is because of crypto. That's why I've left 7 days a week in there. But I'm sure most of you know that the Forex markets don't work or don't trade 7 days a week. They only trade 5 days a week, but this is for crypto. And by the way, believe it or not, time and time again, I've found that trading a strategy from Tuesday to Thursday is more profitable than trading it from Monday to Friday, right? Orlando has a question. Can you use indicators like a fib? You can. You have to download a custom fib indicator, and then you can use it for sure, right? So you just simply use mode equals custom there. Yeah. Okay. Now the weak filter just means that, you just say, look, I want to add this weak filter for the buy, and then the top little thing slot just says that if the weak filters conditions are met, then you buy. If they're not met, then don't do anything. Therefore, for a sell, we would need to get another weak filter, right? Like that. Okay. And there's also a time filter as well. And what this allows us to do is says, okay, I want to execute this trade every morning or whatever time at, say, 7 a.m., right? So we just slot it into, time filter as well. And that just means that if you have a breakout that every morning at 7 o'clock or 8 a.m. GMT, there's a market breaking out, that it can do so, right? So for now, I'll just leave these things aside. I don't want to complicate this strategy, especially because I'm sharing it with people. So I'll just delete. You can delete two ways: right click and delete, or just select it and then delete. Yeah, with your delete key on your keyboard. Okay, I'm now changing to MT4. Are people still with me, or are you falling asleep? Let's wake up, guys. Are you there? Okay, now we're gonna amp it up now. Yeah, Orlando, thank you. Melody, thank you. Patrick, thank you. Fred, thank you. Chris, thank you. Anna, thank you. DeAndre and Gabor. If I missed someone, apologies. In Yusuke as well, Fred. The names just scrolled past my Gary. Thank you. Now, final bit of the evening. Let's now see it making money in the live markets or the actual markets with data, right? Tick data. So just bear with me. I'm just switching screens. In the meantime, I'm going to ask you a question, and just to get some audience participation so you guys don't fall asleep and I don't fall asleep. It's quite late at night in Sydney at the moment. So my question to you guys is, when it comes to automation, right? What's your target amount that you guys have in mind to trade, to achieve per day or per week or per month or per year? Give me those figures. And this is a very important question I'm asking you, because I'll tell you why towards the end of this call, hopefully, if someone reminds me. But let me know in the chat window, what's your daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly trading target, right? While I just set up the screen for the MT4 demo. Yep, so Melody says $500 a day. Someone said 20 grand. Ben, come on, well, and you know what, that $1 million is pretty achievable, but it needs a bit of time, or it needs a super large account to start with, right? Patrick is saying 10% a month, pretty realistic actually. Fred Martin is very modest with only $400 a week. That's pretty modest. Dr. Evil, muhaha, Ben, I like it. Gabor is saying $500 a day. Yep. 10% a month by Patrick. Yusuke, 10% a month. Anna, 20 grand a month. Yeah, well, that's achievable, depending on your account size. Samir, 0.5% a day. Yep, achievable. Orlando, 10 to 20% a month. Yep, again, it's doable. Melody, $500 a day. Yeah, the $500 a day is pretty standard. I hear that quite a bit actually. I guess it's a round number, and I think it's a figure that most people would live quite a handsome, comfortable life on $500 a day on autopilot. Yeah, that's for sure. And yes, I actually do that per day and then some. You know, my target was $500 a day a few years ago, but I smashed that, and I don't mind being arrogant enough to say that. You know, so yeah, it is doable. It is doable, and I'm living proof. Right, okay, just changing screens, guys. Sorry, it's a little bit slow. Right, you're going to hopefully see the FXPIG MT4, and type in if you can see my screen. Yes. Y for yes, N for no. Yep, awesome. Thank you. Great. Okay. So here's the robots. As you can see, the one I just copied last did not appear in my robot section. But more importantly, where does the actual file go? So I'll start with the quick basics. You go into File, open Data folder, and then it'll go into MQL4. I don't know if you can see my subsequent screens, but it opens up a data folder, and in that is MQL4 and experts, right? And you drag and drop the file in the experts folder. So File, open data folder, and then it'll be all in there, MQL4 experts. Once it's in there, you go anywhere here, indicators or EAs, right click, refresh, and there is the one which I just copied over with the money management, right? Simple MA crossover with MM, right? And I've just put that on my screen, the actual indicators themselves, as a quick explanation of how that strategy would work in real terms. So how it would work is when these three lines get aligned. So this is the fastest moving average. This will be a 10 moving average. This is your 50, 50. This is your 200. So when the 10 is below 50, 50 is below 200, we're in a bearish mode, and at that intersection there, it starts trading short, right? Very simple, but obviously it had to be done just for this demo, right? And vice versa. At this point, actually, it doesn't happen until here. The 10 MA is above 50 and 50 is above 200. At that point, this one goes long, a bit late in the day, but hey ho, right? So anyway, it makes money for sure over long periods of time, especially if you choose currencies which are amenable to that. And euro dollar at the moment isn't, and depends on the time frame. Also, this is an hourly time frame. If you go to 4 hourly, you can see it's a lot more trendy. It's a trendy currency pair on a 4 hourly. Okay, so once it appears there, you want to back test this file, this robot which we created, right? So let's just open up the robot in a back tester. How do you do it? View and strategy tester, and that brings up this window at the bottom, right? Now I'll choose my simple MA crossover with money management just there. And if I go into expert properties, they'll give me all the settings. Can you see the settings, guys? In the inputs window, can you see all the inputs? Type in, yep, Y for yes, awesome. So these are the things, if you remember, we initialized in the RMAI Robot Maker platform, right? 90 pip target, 30 pip stop loss, the lot size, the auto money management, yeah, intelligent martingale, and the 4 moving averages, 2 for buying and 2 for selling, yeah, 2 for going long and 2 for going short. And the reason it duplicates them over here in inputs is so that, and here's a little tip for you guys for making money, a lot more money, is it's often profitable to enter on one set of moving averages and exit on a different set of moving averages. And what do I mean by that? So I can enter on a 50 and a 200 and exit on a 10 and a 100, right? It's often quite profitable. So worth bearing in mind. Okay, and that's why it appears 4 times. Anyway, so if you end up getting your knickers in a twist and you end up playing around too much and it's all gone a bit haywire, don't panic. Hit the reset button. It'll reset everything to your default settings. Now, I didn't cover something at the top. If you're trading indices like FTSE, US 30, DAX 30, then just type in number 2, or number 1 for Forex. And I'll explain to you in a subsequent session why I put numbers here as opposed to just a drop-down box, right? I could have easily done a drop-down box there, but there's a little method behind the madness. And then you have symbol suffixes. So what can happen sometimes is a broker can add a suffix saying a .pro for a currency pair, euro dollar .pro. So you just type in .pro and it'll give you a professional .pro currency pair that you can trade with the robot. Okay, everything else is as per the interface earlier, right? Okay, we'll just click OK and we can just take it for a spin. I'll click on the start button and it will start generating results. I'm testing from June 2021, 1st of June 21 to 30th of November 21, right? Why am I not using December? Any ideas, guys? Type in quickly. Why is December not in my list of back testing? Any suggestions, any answers? Why am I not bothering with December here? Yes, Gabor sounds like a professional trader. We don't trade in December, guys. You know who trades in Decembers? Amateurs and desperados. There's only too much turkey, Patrick. Thank you. It is too much turkey intake. But in December, 2 types of people trade, amateurs and desperados. But that's not always the case. Sometimes what you can do is you can still trade small amounts. So because in December, things either go belly up or they go smashing into the sky or into the ground. So you want to, ideally don't trade, but if you're going to trade small amounts, smaller amounts. Anyway, so I'll take it for a spin. If you do it by default, you're going to get pretty bad results. What you do is you download data first of all. So the first thing that you do is you go into, sorry, I keep swapping platforms. That's why I need to look for tools, History Center, because I develop on MT4, MT5, Ninja Trader, you name it. So tools and History Center, and it's not loading up for some reason. There it is. It's just behind some of the windows. Just bear with me, guys. Right. So I'm trading GBP USD, right? And I'll just double click on GBP USD so on FXPIG, all the data is accessible from here, right? But by default, it's empty. The database is empty, right? So what we do is we go into NOP, FX, and metals, expand that. So tools, History Center. By the way, if you guys have any questions about downloading MT4, how to use MT4, how to open accounts, Chris is on this call. Drop him in a note and or just go to fxpig.com, contact them, and they'll be happy to assist with MT4. Yeah. So we go down to GBP USD. There it is. Double click, right, and click on download. I will not do that right now because it can take a few minutes, and I don't want to keep you guys looking at my screen for 2 minutes. And once it's downloaded the GBP USD data, then you get these things sometimes lit up and sometimes gray, right? What that means is the gray thing means that the data hasn't been compiled into that time frame. So when you download data by default, it just gets the 1 minute data, right? And then it expands that into 5-minute bars and then 15 minutes, 30 minutes, etc. So what I would suggest you do, even though if it's fully lit up, just double click on it and they'll compile it. Double click, compile, double click, double click, double click, double click, double click. See, now it's lighting up, double click and double click. Now it's fully compiled, ready to backtest after you hit the download, obviously. And then we click on close and I'll take it for a spin. Default settings, I'm expecting this thing to crash and burn. It might surprise me. There we go. This is a typical result that people get with trading. You see, you get one or two small wins, and then imagine you go live here where this curve goes up. By the way, this curve is called an equity curve, right, in the back tester, from left to right. At the bottom is number of trades, and on the right is the equity, the money that you're making. Ben is saying, no wonder you're not selling anything. But don't worry, I'll show you how to make this profitable in a sec. I want to keep things real, right? Most people will tell you and show you a screen which makes a lot of money, and you're like, Jesus, this is amazing, and you buy this and you go on it and you lose a lot of money. But by default, this is what happens, and I'll show you how to make it profitable, right? One of the things that you do is don't use 2 averages, maybe try 3 averages, right? So I'll jump to my triple MA crossover, which just uses 3 moving averages, right, rather than 2. Take it for a spin. Yeah, a bit more better, right? Totally random. I haven't actually, to look at the settings, they're pretty basic settings, 10, 50, 200, 10, 250, right? Now, I can make it even better, right? I'll switch on, say money management. So on this one, I don't have money management because I didn't add it, but I can add it on the other one. Simple with right? So by the way, this is all working with take profits and stop losses, right? So if you go in the results, this is using a ratio of 3 to 1, right? So we're risking $3 to make $9. Okay, 30 pips to make 90 pips. Yeah, a ratio of 1 to 3 or 3 to 1. That's why it's profitable, right? It made $67, but obviously I was trading micro lots. If you trade more, you make more, right? Anyway, so I'll go to the other one that was tanking, which is the money management one with And as we know, as you saw earlier, this just tanked, right? It was disastrous. Now, if you want to have an idea of why a strategy is doing this, go in the report and it will tell you that the consecutive losses was 13, right? It did not make money for 13 trades in a row. And this is where most people give up. So this is a rubbish strategy, 2 moving averages with random settings on a random currency pair, right? How do I make it profitable with a brute force technique? Again, this is something which I haven't trialed. This could be an exercise in crashing and burning. I'll just say, look, my maximum lots is 8. Make it 5, a bit more realistic. Right, I'm going to start with 0.01, just martingale it, but I'll cap it at 5. Okay, and then we'll take it for a spin and see how much money it makes now, right? Right. My heart was in my mouth, guys. I thought, Jesus, I hope this doesn't crash and burn. Otherwise, this is going to be a disastrous demo. Just something I just, put it on in 2 seconds. $3,000, right? In a few months. It's got a high drawdown, 22.81%, right? But you know what? You were not totally gambling because you had a cap in it, put a cap in it. There was a cap on it, and that was basically 5 lots, right? So that was your maximum possible losing amount in this strategy, up to 5 lots, right? And that's why I've made $3,000. And it's a rubbish strategy, just 2 moving averages, right? But it makes money. With 3 moving averages, better. And then we got other ones. We got Bollinger Bands based ones where we have things like envelopes, right? One of my all-time favorites. I haven't used it for a few years, but this morning when I was thinking about what to show you guys, I thought, you know what, maybe it might be worth experimenting with envelopes, right? Now I'll show you the envelopes before we start taking the final questions for the evening. So in the templates, by the way, I've created a template for myself, and if someone would like this template, just give me a shout and I'll email it to you. Drop me an email, and it's called Pretty Candles. It's quite easy to do on your own. It's just a right-click properties, and you just change a few settings, and you get a nice template, right? And yeah, exactly, Ben. You can save the Pretty Candles over the default template. So yeah, absolutely. You can just say, yeah, and then that'll obviously give you the same template. So envelopes. So I'll just go into insert indicators, and sorry, I'll just do it from here. Trend envelopes, right? So envelopes are pretty special indicators, right? What they do, a bit like the Bollinger Bands, they'll tell you when the price, is reaching its peak and it's reversing. And what I like to do is I like to basically change the deviations. So 0.2 deviation, maybe make some bigger envelopes, right? And 0.3 makes it even more bigger, right? So how do you trade this? So you could say, for example, right, you can say that when the price closes below the bottom envelope, we go short. And when it closes above the top envelope, right, we go long, right? Obviously, you'll have a big sizable stop loss there, right, in this situation. But even if you lost there and there was a tight stop loss, then this next one would be a beautiful trade. Closes above and small pullback, and it goes to the moon, right? So very interesting strategy just with envelopes. And again, you can do that using the Robot Maker platform. Just in the indicator list, choose envelopes and just do the close of the price, right? Too easy. What do you think, guys? Are you impressed with my demo so far? That's a very flat, no, that's a yes. That's a yes. I think there was a delay in the responses and I started sweating here. I thought, Jesus. Yeah, excellent, guys. I'm glad everyone liked it. So do you think this gives you an edge in trading and make money on a broker like FXPIG, right? Yep, exactly, Ben, no need for the gym. Going back to your target, so I asked you a question. What's your target, right, for trading? And I didn't ask that question just to kill time. There was a motive behind that question, right? So with automation, right, you can smash those targets, right, quite easily sometimes. And you can also trade to targets. So you can design a robot and say to the robot, once I've made my $500 a day, that's it. Stop trading. Don't trade anymore. Or I've made my quota for the week or for the month, whatever it is. It's very, very important to trade to target, because the analogy I give to people, when I became profitable about 18 years ago, right? What changed in my trading personality was the urge and the behavior to stop trading after I had hit my target, because I thought, you know what, I've made $1,000 today. If I trade more, I'll make $2,000 today, $5,000 today, right? And the analogy I give to people is, imagine you're in the battlefield, fighting, right? You kill, your target for killing, I'm sorry, I know it's controversial in the current climate, but say your target as an army person is to, smash 10 enemy tanks. You've done your target for the day. Go home, right? Don't stay behind and try and smash out 100 enemy tanks, because you're going to get killed, right? So trade a target, and trust me, that's one of your secrets to success in trading. If you found this of interest, guys, this webinar, drop a line to myself, FXPIG, and I hope you open an account with them, because then you'll get an unlimited access with the software. We're adding new modules all the time, including the AI modules. But if you like this webinar, just drop me an email or put a little note, and I'll do regular ones with additional strategies, advanced concepts, and show off some new modules that we are adding. Again, it's all free to use. But yeah, let's open it up for questions. And by the way, before I forget, let me just send you a link in the call, which will allow you in the chat window to get access to $200 if you're lucky. And it's only a small group of people, and that's not that small, but yeah, you have a good chance of winning that account basically for $200. But let's start taking questions. Melody, yes, you can open a demo account. Melody saying, can you have a demo account? Yes, you can just open a demo account if you wish, yeah. But for this access, I would say a live account would be required in the long term, right? Okay, and in the chat window, I'm just sharing something with you guys. Just bear with me. And yeah, pick my brains. You know, I'm here as a self-proclaimed expert. So, you know, feel free to pick my brains. There you go. So that's the link to get the $200 draw for the trading account. Orlando, yes, if I offer a free version, what's in it for me as a CTO of this company? Well, for me, the point is that you guys will open up accounts with FXPIG. I'm their affiliate. So yeah, I'll get a little kickback from FXPIG. That's what it's for me. And also for me, it's also that's the kind of the easy answer, but the other answer, which is equally important, is it gives me the feedback from all of you about what's working and what's not working, right, with this piece of software. And I want to get it developed into an amazing world-class thing that people can just download on their iPads, iPhones, and put their accounts live, you know, seamlessly, and have a trading system that's based on AI, on FX, crypto, in the palm of their hands, right? So it's a long way away from that, but I want to get there in the next few years. Yeah. Yes, so Orlando, you can't see the link. I've just sent, apologies, you can't see the link. Let me just send it again. I think it just went to the panelists. I'll just send the link again. Just bear with me. Apologies. There you go. Here's a link again. Okay. Hopefully everyone can see the link now. Ben has asked a question. Can you elaborate more on stopping when you hit the target into the context of an EA? So yes, you can have a daily target programmed into an EA that says, look, once I've made my $1,000, you know, say the EA makes that, the robot makes that in the first 2 hours, it stops trading after 2 hours, right? And that's it. And then that will get reset at midnight that day, and then next morning it'll start again. Make sense, Ben? Or you can do the opposite. If I lose if I win $1,000, I stop trading. Or if I lose $200, I'll stop trading. Right? So you can have an EA level, campaign level stop loss. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? That pick my brain. You know, it's not often you get an algo trading expert, self-proclaimed. Can you set it, Orlando, as a question? Can you set it so once the MA crosses, it enters you in after a certain amount of pips to avoid any choppy movements? Great question. Not at the moment, Orlando, but please email that as a feature and I'll basically make that happen for you, right? Thank you, Gary. Thanks very much. Samir has a question. How do you upload a custom indicator? So let me just show you the screen. I'll give you another quick 2-minute demo on how to upload a custom indicator. It's actually, how to use a custom indicator is very easy. There is no uploads required, and I'll show you exactly what to do. It'll take me 2 minutes flat, if not less. So let me just switch screens. And here we go. Let me know if you can see the Robot Maker screen again. Yeah. Ben is asking me a question. Why is it the case that the algo doesn't have emotions? I'm hoping that's a joke, Ben. Why doesn't the algo have emotions? Yes. Sometimes the algo does get pissed off at me, for sure. Right, so if you can see my screen, let me show you how to add a custom indicator, right? Okay, so you go into the drop down, say moving average, and I choose custom, right? Then I click on the block, then I get this sliding window here. Can everyone see my sliding window with a custom indicator in it? Yes? Yep. Okay, so in this screen here, sorry, I've got a froggy throat at the moment. In this screen here, we don't need to upload anything. All we're doing basically is typing in the name of the custom indicator, right? So say your custom indicator in this case is super trend, okay, which is quite a common indicator out there. Super trend. You type it in exactly as the name appears in your indicators folder in MT4, okay? And that's all you do. Type it in the exact sequence as it appears, exact way it appears in your indicators folder. That's it. That's all you do, right? Then in the parameters, again, the sequence. So in the super trend, I think if my memory serves me correctly, it has the multiplier and the length, right? A multiplier is a decimal number. So say the multiplier is 2.8 and the length is say 14. So you just do 2.8 comma 14 exactly in the sequence of parameters in your custom indicator is how you put in the values here. And then there's something known as a buffer mode, right? And again, if you're looking at the data window in MT4, you'll see which buffer it's using, which line it's using. So say it's using the first line, then it'll be buffer mode 1. If it's using second line, it'll be buffer mode 2. That's all it is. And that's it. And then if I just click on update, I've got a custom indicator there. Sorry, I didn't click on update there. So yeah, you just have a custom indicator there. And then you upload that file, you save that ex4 file, clicking on there, save it into your MT4 folder. There it is, it's just updated there. I think I was doing the wrong one before. There it is. Super trend 2814, right? And it will basically appear in your MT4. And it will reference that super trend. Can you set a trailing stop loss? Not at the moment, but I've got that as a hot item coming soon, very soon. Orlando. Okay, guys. Unless we have any further questions, we shall wrap up now. And we'll basically, I think Ben had a question. Okay, when's the next call? The next call, nothing planned at the moment. We're hoping to do a call on a regular basis. Subscribe to the FXPIG mailing list. Drop me an email, info@Robot Maker. Let me just give you my email address to everyone in the chat. This will come to my team and he'll forward it to me. So info@robotmaker.ai, and my name is Cameron. Drop me a line, and then we'll keep you informed. Yep. Another question from Samir: how can we add additional info confirmation during configuration? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Samir. Hope we can add additional confirmation during configuration. Don't know what you mean, but yes, you can, I suppose, say yes, confirm the settings. But yeah, sorry. Yep, you can actually discard if you don't want to do this, and you can just don't save the the file and just discard it. Okay. Sorry, Samir, multiple indicators. No, you can only have one indicator at a time, but yeah, you can have multiple ones. But thank you, guys. Thank you very much, Patrick. Thank you, guys, for joining this evening. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Orlando, Yusuke, Gary, Gabor, Luke, Chris. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. It was a pleasure. Fred, Melody, Anna, and look forward to seeing you guys, Gabor, at the next session, which I'm sure we'll schedule very soon. Thank you. Thanks all. Take care. Have a good night. Don't forget the free account for $200. The link I'll post again in case it's scrolled up. Just make sure you guys sign up, and there's a good chance you'll get an account for $200. Thanks again.